Hey, Shane.
Yeah.
You know how it's really weird to turn art into a competition and name things the best when it's all subjective?
Yeah, that is weird.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
We're going to do the same thing here in our annual Oscar picking game.
Let's do it.
Woo!
Well.
This is the annual Oscar picking game, something I kind of came up with the initial idea for in high school, and we've done ever since, and it's kind of evolved in fun ways.
Yeah. Would you like me to explain the rules before we get started?
Please explain the rules, Shane.
So the way we have this done is we have all of the different categories that we feel like we have any sort of grasp on.
Yeah, so
that does not include international feature, the documentaries, or the shorts.
And I think next year we may try to make the shorts part of it because
Okay.
they've become more available. Like
Yeah.
maybe next year you and I will literally go and see the shorts in
Yeah,
theaters.
that would be cool. I'd be down for that.
Because they've been really good the past couple years about doing it. So
Yeah.
I think next year we'll start doing shorts.
Yeah.
And I would like to do documentaries too.
I would like to do documentaries. I'm just like,
I'm not good about keeping up with them.
neither am I. And like they're hard. They are hard to see. I think they are
yes.
harder to see than most of the other categories.
For sure. And then international feature,
Depending.
we get like half of them, I feel like,
Yeah.
the chance to see. Anyway, continue with the rules. So that's excluding those few categories.
Yeah. So for each category, we can pick our top winner or a secondary possible, our second option. If you just choose the top winner and not a secondary option, you get 3 points. If you pick your first pick and a second pick, and if your first pick wins, it gets 2 points. And if your second pick wins, it gets 1 point. So just to reiterate, you can pick just a top winner. You don't have to pick a second choice. But if you do pick a second choice, the first choice will be 2 points. The second choice will be 1 point. Or if you just pick one, it'll be 3 points.
Yeah.
And so we'll go category by category.
Add some strategy to it.
Yeah.
If like some of the split ones you can get ahead, you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
We will also make this list available
Yes.
online so you can play along at home.
Please do. This is like genuinely such a fun way to watch the Oscars.
Yeah, like
more fun than the picking game because like sometimes they'll pick something, they'll split their pick, and you are like, no, I really believe, and then you get ahead, and it's like awesome. It's so much fun.
We also have a wild card pick. So the way that we usually do this is like it can't be the front runner. You can't pick the front runner in a race to be the wild card, but you get to pick one winner from one category to be the wild card.
Yeah, so like last year, I think I can't remember the wild picks we chose, but like last year, a wild pick would have been Avatar: The Way of Water winning Best Picture.
Right.
It's like no one really thought that was going to happen, but like maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like it doesn't have to be like the literal, like there's no world where that could
it
win,
just
but
can't
it
be
just
like
can't be
the
favorite.
one or two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It has to be like a 3 or 4 choice where it's like, look, this could slip in and be an upset, but.
I think the slipperiest one we ever did was when I picked Parasite to win Best Picture. I even threw that. I was like, is this a wild card pick? Because I think it is a wild card pick and it was allowed. But in retrospect, I'm not sure.
There was a lot of
should have
deliberation. I think it came down to the fact that no foreign film had ever won Best Picture up to that point. And so for me, I guess I was like, well, yeah, it's a wild card because it's not going to happen.
Right.
And then it did, and it was amazing.
And it just also wasn't the favorite that year.
No.
Like it had won a bunch of awards and stuff. It just wasn't the favorite.
Yeah. That was a strong fucking year.
It was
too.
a crazy good year.
That's the last good thing that happened in the pandemic.
Literally. It was like that, and 2 weeks later, we were all like, stuck at home. But it was worth it.
So this is a super fun game.
Yeah.
I grew up watching the Oscars, and I've like lost some of that like magic for it. But like I really like the night of, I do get like, everyone shut up, I want to listen to the speeches and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I get very, very into it.
It's fun. Like we have a good time with it.
So yeah, do that. Throw your Oscar party. Get all your friends and family to do this. It's a total blast. It's
100%.
a more fun version than just checking off a ballot to me.
The other thing that we will be discussing is our personal picks. So like what we would nominees, what we would personally choose. Yeah. Because like we already did the Whatties, which was our
like favorite movies.
Our favorites of a lot of these categories.
Like literally what we would have nominated over any, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like this is more just like of these, because that's how the Oscars work.
The nominees,
Oscars nominate, and then the Academy members have to vote based on the nominees.
Right.
Which I think like just closed the other day, or So yeah, so that's the general. We'll do that as well. So
Yeah.
it's just limiting it to this because we all know we have very weird different opinions, and the Academy never nominates like fun movies.
No.
So.
Unless it's fucking Parasite.
Unless it's fucking Parasite. Well, like, hold up. The Best Picture nominees this year, I feel like there's Holdovers is a blast. American Fiction is a really fun movie. Depending on how you view Poor Things.
Yeah.
Barbie. I mean,
Okay, yeah, fair.
they'll nominate some good stuff. They'll nominate some fun stuff, but a lot of times it's like The Zone of Interest,
Yeah.
Anatomy of a Fall. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's just hop in, starting from
Yeah.
the bottom of our list here.
Visual effects.
Visual effects. Before we do this, is there any clear one that snubbed here? Because that's been the big narrative this year.
Or snubs.
Our snubs. Like,
Yeah.
no Iron Claw, no Margot Robbie, no directing for Greta Gerwig. Like,
Yeah.
and the no acting categories for Past Lives, like things like
Yeah.
This has been the year of like everyone not really talking about who's gonna win the fight of these two random
Yeah.
categories, and more like what the fuck Academy. So visual effects, let's just throw that in there too. Like, is there any clear one? Because I'm not sure.
Clear snubs.
Yeah, clear snubs. I'm trying to think of ones that I would think are just like, ooh, really?
No, honestly, there are some that I think that look, I didn't see Napoleon, but I was surprised to see its inclusion here.
Yeah. We didn't have a ton of like. Well,
I mean, you could make the argument that it's a little surprising that Oppenheimer isn't here. It's like, yes, it isn't VFX, but the effects in that movie
are incredible.
are incredible.
Yeah. No, I agree with that wholeheartly.
It's like we get into that weird area of like, okay, well, if it's a practical effect, is it not a visual effect? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
it's like that kind of thing.
I might add maybe Poor Things.
Yeah.
Poor Things was such a stylized version
Yes.
of visual effects
I
in
completely
the
agree.
coolest way.
I completely agree.
And I would have loved to see it recognized for that,
Yeah.
so hopefully more people would like not worry so
Yeah.
much about the like photoreal, hyper realistic, and like get abstract with it, because that's the point of it to me.
Look, it's hard for me to want to be like Oppenheimer hasn't gotten enough recognition, but at the same time, like there's
Yeah.
some crazy shit
No,
that movie does.
Absolutely. All right. So your picks, you split in this one?
So I have a bunch of splits, and I'm trying to decide: can I, for our game, me and you, can I? Do I need to make the final decision here today, or can I remove my split decisions down the line?
Let's
Because that's the way we used to do it, but we didn't have a podcast before.
Yeah.
So
let's do this. We're gonna hold ourselves to this. If we change stuff later,
yeah.
we have to make some kind of an TikTok or something.
Okay,
just
I'm
to be
into
like
it.
here, and we only can change 2 after the fact.
Ooh, I like that.
So we
Okay.
have to be really smart about it.
Okay, I like it.
I think that's going to be the way to
And
do it.
I think the changes can only be removing a second choice.
Yes,
It can't be
yes.
flipping, and it can't be changing. It's just removing a second choice.
I can get behind
Okay,
that. Yeah,
okay.
because that's usually how mine go. Usually, I start getting more confident as we
I
get
agree.
closer.
I mean, there are still some things to happen between now and then to change some of these things. I mean, like as we were recording this, the SAGs happened literally last night or the
And
night before.
There was a couple of upsets
Yeah.
at the SAGs.
Yeah.
That kind of do affect this. But
I mean,
anyway.
the SAG Awards are the like best leading indicator
Yeah.
for
it's like the SAG
for the
and
acting
then,
awards.
the Cannes Film Festival. Whoever wins that usually is almost always wins the Oscar.
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, best visual effects as of right now. What do you got?
Okay, right now, screw it. I'm just going to remove my second choice right now. My top choice is The Creator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sick. I can vibe.
Yeah, so it is for me a close 1 and 2. I mean, again, as I discussed last year, my method of research is often and very heavily weighted by Vegas odds.
Yeah.
Because it'll show you how close the race is. You know, like if you just look up, Variety's Oscar predictions.
Yeah.
It only shows, it only gives you so much information. Like you can see the number of how close.
Yeah.
I have never seen so many races so close this year. Like they are all within 100 points of each other, or like 200 points, where usually it's like 1,000.
Yeah.
So like this is one of those ones that it was super, super, super close. And I actually swapped it. It was originally Godzilla Minus One was my number 1,
Okay.
but I'm going number 1, The Creator. I am not putting a number 2.
Okay. This year, I very much, I very much I did look up things like who's the favorite to win this, what are the odds, a couple things like that. But really, I tried to go based on my feelings towards like. There's been a few years where I've been like weirdly precogging the Oscars on a couple categories, but for me, it's Godzilla -1 with a bullet.
It's not with a bullet. I'll tell you that.
I know it's not with a bullet, but I think that movie has some emotionality. Like there's
a storyline for sure.
It has way more of a narrative. It came out later in the year than the creator.
I think. Well, that's a good point. I think the black and white might have an effect.
Black and white help, but I also think I cannot remember the director's name. Sorry,
it's fine.
He has been shopped around Hollywood at this point. He has done things for Lucasfilm. He's done things for everywhere.
Okay, fascinating.
And everybody really likes him, and everyone really loves that movie. And I feel like the creator hasn't done any like. Look it up, you know what I mean, for the Academy Awards. And the creator came out so long ago and kind of wasn't really talked about that much. And like Godzilla -1 is nominated for one thing and is the second highest grossing foreign film ever in America. Yeah. Like I just think it has the
behind what?
I'm not positive.
Oh, okay.
It's probably a Ghibli or a
yeah, that makes sense.
Something. Anyway, it is. I just think it has the narrative to win.
Yeah.
I think it's got the narrative behind it, and I think it's got the like. Just I don't know, the acclaim and the recency bias a little bit.
That's very true.
Look, here's the thing. I would be so happy if it literally went to the creator, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, because I think the VFX in that are all really good. Yeah. But specifically the creator or Godzilla -1, I want to win.
Here's my argument for the creator. I do think the visual effects are better.
I can agree with that.
And they are also similarly, it has a similar story of low budget, like not super heavy on, on the use of, morph suits and ball tracking and all that kind of stuff. Like a lot of it was like really done really quick and dirty while still also looking phenomenal. And I think it looks significantly better.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I do agree with you. I think the VFX are more like hard stop great. I think the Academy is going to be watching a lot of scenes for this one.
Yeah.
And they're going to watch the water scene from Godzilla.
I'll be honest. I don't think that scene looks that great.
I think it looks incredible.
I think the water effects, like if you look, if you like that, I noticed that in the theater. Like now me and Megan were actually sitting quite close to the screen when we were watching it. Like, I don't think the water effects are as detailed or as accurate as they could have been. Again, for this insanely low budget, like it still looks phenomenal. But again, like it's whether or not I think the narrative of how it was made can beat the actual quality of the final product.
I think you were underselling Godzilla a little bit in its VFX, because I think what it's doing is kind of crazy, and I think that water scene does look like pitch perfect to me. Like I understand some of it's not like literally perfect, but man, the mix of being so completely sold on that movie that I'm like, that's a big lizard and they gotta run. You know what I mean? There's no part of my brain that's going, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, here's the thing. I think Godzilla and it's like the particle effect stuff. It's like that kind of thing that like, and I'm weirdly attuned to noticing it.
And I get it.
That is the visual effect. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I understand.
So that I think will be what the competing elements here is like the kind of narrative and like everything you said about Godzilla versus like the creator, which I think has similar, like very to a much lesser degree, a similar narrative, but I think just overall looks better.
We'll see. Like VFX is usually more like, what's the best one for the most part, other than when Mad Max lost. They don't really take into account practical effects ever. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm Team Godzilla. You're Team the creator.
Again,
I like it.
Super, super, super close. Yeah, like I literally had this split until game time until just now.
All right, the next step is costume design.
You go first. I went first last time.
Okay, I originally was gonna go one on this, but I'm gonna split because I don't feel very confident now. And this may be one of the ones I change, but I've literally, since I made this pick, I was like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But I'm going to split it. Barbie is my number one pick for 2 points. And Poor Things. Like, and that's kind of like a personal thing. Like, I think the costume design in Poor Things is like brilliant. I think all the production stuff and the movie, but I loved Poor Things. That's going to be how I split that. I will probably drop off the Poor Things and just get back on Team Barbie. But
I think similar to. I think this was also a bit of a narrative pick.
Yeah.
And I think it is Barbie, but I did also split Barbie Poor Things.
Yeah.
That is what I'm going to do too. Because like I think excuse me. I think Barbie has been or there's been a lot of narrative of Barbie being snubbed in a lot of categories. And I think some of these categories often feel like kind of the makeup category. Like, visual effects and costume design and production design can sometimes feel like, well, it deserves something.
Which is a bummer, by the way.
Which is a super bummer.
That's not good.
And I feel like Barbie, I think Poor Things is more inventive. And in some ways more interesting.
But Barbie is just so varied.
It's so varied and so perfect. It's like it is pitch perfect. Amazing recreations of super famous and super niche and specific Barbie dress up clothes from the 50s and 60s and 70s and all throughout the last 60 years. So I think it's Barbie. And and my number 2 is Poor Things, because again I think Poor Things is way more inventive and weird.
Yeah.
And Barbie is like pitch perfect and like what I mean? Like it has that like Barbie perfection, where Poor Things is more like wild and weird and cool.
Yeah.
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 All right, makeup and hair.
You're up.
We have we haven't really discussed what like our personal pick is. I think for visual effects, I think we basically kind of said it. Like Godzilla is definitely yours.
Yeah,
and
I also love Godzilla. And in black and white, holy shit, it looks like even better. I think.
I bet it does. Like I bet it really, really, really does.
It feels way more like a monster movie. Yeah. In the first one, feels in every way as a monster movie, but that one,
yeah.
Mwah.
And for me, it's The Creator. I just think that movie looks phenomenal. Again, for similar narrative reasons.
No, wrong. I love The Creator. Yeah. This year has a lot of categories where I'd be like, I'd be happy for 4 of them.
Oh, I'd be super happy if Godzilla won for visual effects. Super, super, super happy.
And it's fucking the same thing for costume design. I would be super happy if Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, or Poor Things won. I didn't see Napoleon.
I thought y'all did.
No, we were gonna go, and then we just didn't have time to squeeze it into the time slot. Sometimes the 3-hour movies are harder to get into because the time slots are weird.
I forgot that movie was
it's like so long.
Woof. Okay.
It's on Apple now. I'll try to watch it before the actual show.
Yeah.
I think it's on Apple.
There's a few notable things that I haven't seen yet.
Maestro is the last Best Picture nominee I haven't seen, and God, I wish I was excited for it, but it's been so clowned on that it's kind of like spoiled for me a little bit.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's been like clowned on because like I think people are
like there's a clip that recently came out of Bradley Cooper in front of Leonard Bernstein's kids crying about missing their father who he never met. Like it's just this level of like, dude, you're not winning anyway. Stop. Like
cringe. I didn't know that.
Yeah, like he's just been doing stuff like that. Like Bradley Cooper is committed so. And the funny thing is, from what I understand, his best performance was Rocket Raccoon this year or his last year. Like he does not look bad in that movie, but apparently everyone's like, this isn't even his best performance of the year.
Yeah,
like, it's
fascinating. I haven't heard that.
Anyway, so I will watch it. I will watch it before the ceremony, but it's one that I think has been just, everyone's like, this movie's like not that good.
Costume design, what's your personal pick?
My personal pick for costume design would probably be Barbie. I think maybe. I just thought that it had such a fun and colorful, like, Barbie.
I'm right there with you.
Barbie.
I think it's Barbie.
All right.
Okay, makeup and hair.
Makeup and hair.
I am going... Again, this is one that I have split on the sheet, and I'm trying to decide if I want to not split it right now. Makeup and hair, 1 is Maestro.
Okay.
And I'm sticking with it. 1 is Maestro. Maestro's my winner.
Okay.
Because apparently the Leonard Bernstein face is, the hair and makeup is quite good in that
okay.
movie.
That's look, and I could be wrong about this, and this is one that it's maybe one of the ones that loses me the thing, but I'm kind of going more heart on this one, and I'm sticking with all in on Poor Things.
Yeah.
I really, really loved the makeup work in that.
Yeah.
Like it's just crazy. Like the way Willem Dafoe was like still able to emote and be a character through all of that, and the way they, I don't know, man.
Can I split? I said I wasn't. Can I split? I had it on the thing.
That's fine. Just split it.
Okay, I'm splitting it. This is one I might change. My personal pick is Poor Things. My personal pick
is Poor Things. And I really think like of these, Poor Things and Society of the Snow deserve it. Society of the Snow.
I haven't seen.
I just watched it.
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll win, but like the effects work in it is like perfect. Like it's the way they make them look like dirty, and their teeth and their hair and just injuries and things like that. It is like photo real. Like, or not photo. It is like literally like I wouldn't be able to tell the difference if I was walking through looking at them. Like put those makeups in a lineup and I wouldn't be able to tell. But Poor Things is my winner. That's what I want to win, and that's what I'm putting all of my chips on.
Love it.
All right. Best original song. Here's the thing.
What's the thing?
Let me ask you this before I say mine. Is this a close contended one? Because I think it has gone back and forth all year on whether or not it is.
It's close.
Because like there's the cynical part of my brain that's like the Academy's going to give it to the one to get viewers versus the one that probably should win it.
Fair. I mean, that being said, like, I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. It's gonna be Barbie. It's which Barbie song?
Yeah. I'm gonna split. But I'm gonna go. My 2-point pick. My number one pick is "What Was I Made For" from Barbie, Billie Eilish's song, and then my second pick is "I'm Just Ken." And I never. Yeah.
It is. It's a close one. It's not one of the closest ones.
Yeah.
I am not gonna split. I have it split on the sheet. I am not gonna split, and I'm not gonna take this back. I promise. It's going to be, for me, it is What Is I Made For?
Yeah.
That's going to be the winner. Personally, I loved I'm Just Kidding. That's the song I've actually listened to multiple times on my own personal listening time. But I do think, I mean, it's a close race.
Yeah.
And it has gone back and forth, and it has won some surprises here and there. But I think I think it's going What Was I Made For? Because like this is the thing. If we're talking about like views at the Oscars, they still have to perform both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're still getting Ryan Gosling up there on stage.
Maybe. I actually haven't heard if he's going to do it or not.
Oh, is there some question as to him not?
I've heard. Well, I just haven't heard that he has, because it's not always the people who performed it in the movie who do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially since he's nominated.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, that's like in other categories. So maybe
I love that video when it won at whatever the
critics'
choice, and he was just like sitting like he wasn't even surprised. He was like,
yeah, he was like, "What's wrong with you guys?"
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'll split that. That really maybe won, because my original inclination was just give it to Billie Eilish. You know what I mean? Like, but
she's such a darling. Like
she's already won an Oscar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's get her to EGOT. I would love that.
Yeah.
Anyway, this personally, I think I'm Just Ken would be just it's on my running playlist.
Right.
Like I listen to it all the time.
It's so good.
Still.
It's so good.
Anyway, so okay, original score.
I'll take this one. It's Oppenheimer. It's Ludwig Göransson. Oppenheimer. Like with a bullet this time.
Yeah.
With a bullet. Personally, Poor Things. That's mine.
Okay, that's interesting, because
like my pick is as Oppenheimer. No split. My pick is Oppenheimer.
I love the music from Poor Things. Like literally. Okay, in all honesty, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, or Poor Things, I'd be perfectly happy with.
Yeah.
Mine is Oppenheimer all the way. That's my pick, and I think it would be the thing I would want to win. I am like enamored with so much of that score and how much it affects that movie.
Yeah.
Not to say Poor Things doesn't. I think Poor Things is one of the coolest, most original scores in a long time.
And that's why I have such a fondness for it.
But yeah, no, I think I'm going. I think I'm going that. I think I'm going just Oppenheimer.
Yeah. No split.
No split.
Yeah. No, split it for me so that way I can get more points. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Production design. This is another very close one.
My number one pick is Barbie. My number two pick is Poor Things.
That is also what I have at the moment, and I'm trying to decide if I want to cut the split or not. Oh, it's so fucking close. It's not even funny. Man, yeah. That might be a late round. That might be a after the fact change.
You only get two.
I only get two. But yeah, like production design, Barbie and Barbie number one, Poor Things number two.
Yeah.
I mean, like they're both so good. In completely different ways.
Yeah.
But in also kind of similar ways in some, because like
they're both so kind of like larger than life
Yes.
and kind of just outside of reality. And, I think the one disadvantage Barbie has in terms of that is there is a lot of that movie that's in just the real world.
Yeah.
And but even
that's
then
that's in a Chevy
a Blazer,
Equinox or whatever.
Yeah. Which, by the way, like even when she's in the office building, the Mattel office building, that all looks pretty larger than life.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of it.
Sure,
there's a lot of it that's like outside of a LA school, whatever. So I think that's its one disadvantage. There's sections of that movie that are not as good as others.
Yeah.
In terms of production
Poor
design.
Things is just crazy.
Poor Things
from front to
immerses
back.
you in this insane world.
Yeah.
But I think Barbie has more of the narrative to win this one.
Yeah.
It's got flashier single images to show and stuff like that. And it was the more popular movie. You know
100%.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think the behind the scenes,
yes,
all that kind of stuff, like that they have been like pushing hard, which no shade, like that stuff is so cool.
Yeah.
But they've been pushing that stuff hard, so I think it might give that just a little bit more juice.
Yeah. Okay. Sound.
This is another close one, but I don't have it split. But this is also a movie I have not seen. The Zone of Interest. That's my pick.
So here's my problem. In a just world, The Zone of Interest is just the winner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that movie is entirely predicated on sound.
Yeah.
Like literally, the whole point of the movie, I know you haven't seen it, but the whole point of the movie is you're just watching kind of like a family drama and hearing the most horrible things you've ever heard in your life. Like there was a point in that movie where I was like 30 minutes in, I was like, I need this to be over. Like I need to go home.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I'm betting on the Academy to do the right thing. I'm going all in on Zone of Interest.
No, split it.
No, I'm going all in on Zone of Interest.
Yeah.
I think it deserves to win. It would be my personal pick.
Yeah.
I think it's like maybe the best sound design we've had in like a decade.
Yeah,
And purely in terms of like its narrative function. You know what I mean? Where it's just like it is entirely based on this idea of like hearing the horrible stuff and just ignoring it if you're the characters in the movie and everyone else being like, I can't, I'm gonna throw up. Like, ooh. And it's not like big and over the top. There's no moment of sound where you're just like, you just want to like run and it's this prolonged feeling of horrific acts happening just behind a wall. And it's a brutal movie, dude. And you see basically nothing.
Yeah.
Like, man. Zone of Interest.
That has been that is one of the movies that I don't know if I can bring myself legitimately. Like I know I need to. I know how great that movie is. But yeah, I just leave the idea of being in that headspace for that amount of time.
I'll tell you what, like this is the best thing I can give a movie like this. It's how I talk about Schindler's List. It's how I talk about Saving Private Ryan. There's certain movies I don't think should be a choice. I think every person of an appropriate age, I'm not saying show this to 9-year-olds.
Yeah.
But every person of an appropriate age should have to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Because like where Schindler's List shows you the literal acts that are happening, this movie shows you the ability people have to turn a blind eye. Like the scary ability people have to be like, well, whatever. Like, it is a like profound example of that. And man, is it good.
Yeah.
But also I will never watch it again.
Yeah. Yeah. Sound, because I haven't seen Zone of Interest, like my personal pick is Oppenheimer, just because that sound in that movie is phenomenal. Film editing. Did you go last time or did I go last time?
I think you went first last time. Okay. I am going because I've never seen a movie edited this way.
Yeah.
To this degree of effectiveness. I'm going Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I agree.
All in on Oppenheimer. Look, don't get me wrong. I think Killers of the Flower Moon is also phenomenally edited. I think The Holdovers is phenomenally edited in a way that not many people talk about. Poor Things and Anatomy of a Fall. All of them.
Yeah. This is very, very, very
strong year. Yeah. But I think Oppenheimer feels like a 3-hour montage that never feels like grating. You know what I mean? Like the brilliance of that movie is it's like this sprint to get to this moment, and all it is people talking, but it doesn't feel like that. And then the one part it slows down is when the bomb goes off, and then it sprints to the finish line. Yeah, but it's 3 hours long. It's,
the energy, the energy and pace that movie holds. Again, it's like it is a 3-hour movie, and it does not feel like it at all. No, I am never looking. I mean, I could level that same praise on Killers of the Flower Moon, where I do think the pace is varied in a completely different way. Yeah, I agree. Oppenheimer is a 3-hour montage.
I just love Oppenheimer. You know what I mean? That's also part of it. Is I just am. It's.
I think it's Oppenheimer, but this is such a strong category, such a strong year.
It's like I was saying earlier, it's like one of those years where I would just be happy if pretty much any of these won. Like Anatomy of a Fall, a little less, but that's just because I don't love that movie as much. I think the editing is brilliant. Yeah, I do really like Anatomy of a Fall. It's nothing like that. Like it's coming to Criterion, I will probably buy it.
Yeah, that's one I haven't seen. That's another one I haven't seen. I will. It's on streaming or it's rentable and stuff.
Yeah, y'all should watch that.
Megan literally last night, she's like, we need to watch Anatomy of a Fall before the Oscars.
I think y'all will both really like it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Film editing. Okay, next one up.
I'm working on a project right now that we might be able to talk about within the next few weeks or months. But I think Anatomy of a Fall might be a pretty good thing to watch in preparation for this thing that we'll be working on.
Real sick.
Cinematography. It's Oppenheimer. Yeah.
Look, here's the thing. The crazy part about this is I think there are better looking movies than what are on here.
Yeah.
Like that didn't nominate.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Maestro, and I've heard it looks brilliant.
It looks like everything I've seen looks amazing.
But I don't know. I feel like and I say that looking at this, and I'm sure all of these movies are gorgeous. But man, there's a lot of good looking movies this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's Oppenheimer, and Oppenheimer's probably what I would give it to, or Poor Things.
Yeah, because Poor Things, love the way Poor Things look. That movie is wild, and again, like so many of these are the categories that they're nominated for. It's like it is the most interesting one in that category, by leaps and bounds. Like the things that Poor Things does, the way that it threads in these crazy, visual techniques and visual ideas, in a way that like no movie could do that successfully.
Like Poor Things is a movie you wouldn't. This is me talking about like physically buying movies, right? Like Poor Things is a movie you wouldn't think would come to 4K, but absolutely should, and it's not, and it's like kind of a travesty. Same with Iron Claw. Those two movies are like gorgeous.
Yeah.
And they're not getting this like premiere treatment in a way, because I don't think as many people are talking about the cinematography of Poor Things as they should be.
No,
they're all like, the costume design, the production design. It's like
that movie looks insane. How are you not?
Dude, Guillermo del Toro, it's one of my favorite things he's ever talked about is like whenever people ask Guillermo del Toro about the cinematography or whatever, he's like, it is great costume design. Whenever they ask about the costume design, it is great production design. Whenever they ask about the production design, he's like, it is great cinematography. He's like, it's all one thing.
Yeah.
But I think these other things are like overshadowing how honest to God perfect Poor Things looks. Like, and it does things I typically don't like. I don't love fisheye lenses.
I don't either.
But it works in that movie. And like, it's crazy.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I was talking about, where it like weaves in these wild visuals out of nowhere. And because the rest of the movie is so wild and interesting, you don't even notice.
You just
do not notice like the insanity of the camera work and of the lensing. And,
dude. It's a fantastic looking movie. And that being said, I also think Oppenheimer looks unreal.
Yeah. It's
like 3 timeline thing or whatever, you know what I mean? It blends brilliantly and perfectly while also looking very distinct. Some of the thing that I didn't know that they did this, but you sent me, is the projection thing they did, where it's like, it's instead of doing visual effects, he literally just created this, like, he projected a picture of the set on the back of the set and then just started tapping the projector so it looks like everything is shaking.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Like, it's so crazy to think to do
such
that.
Such a simple effect, such a simple idea.
And it works so like, oh man, that movie is unreal.
Yeah.
It's so good. The way they move the camera is like really simple but amazing.
Yeah.
I love Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's another pretty strong year, but Oppenheimer and Poor Things are my like clear favorites to win.
Original screenplay.
Original screenplay. Did I go? You went first. Okay. This is another year where I'm like, well, I would love to see Past Lives win.
Yeah.
I would be fine if May December wins. May December is a weird movie that I don't think I wrap my head around completely on a first viewing because of the tone.
Yeah.
Haven't seen Maestro. I fucking love The Holdovers.
Yeah.
I would be literally so happy. But I think, and I'm going all in on Anatomy of a Fall.
Yeah.
I think Anatomy of a Fall is going to take it.
Yeah. I have this one split. I've got Anatomy of a Fall number 1 and Holdovers number 2.
See, and here's the thing. My personal pick would be The Holdovers.
Yeah.
That's the one that I want to win, just because I think it's like unreal and brilliant.
Yeah.
And I can't, it's one of the few movies I've seen where I can't quite describe, like Ethan was talking about this, friend of the podcast, Ethan.
Yeah.
Was talking about this the other day with me. He's like, I can't tell you why that movie is so, like, makes me feel so warm and happy.
Yeah.
Because it's a pretty sad movie.
Yeah.
But it's like, it has this surprise way of making you feel really good.
Yeah.
And
because it doesn't like that movie just doesn't beat you over the head with how sad these people are. Like there's so much like lightness and comedy spread throughout that it isn't just like these people suck in so many ways. It's like they always at all times are showing you the good and the bad,
the complexities
you know what I mean?
of life
Yeah.
and the complexities of these people who have every right to be bitter in this situation.
Yeah. It's like even in the darkness, there's still humor and you know what I mean? Like it isn't just only...
They find the beauty in the dark. You know what I mean? In a
100%.
brilliant way. But I think Anatomy of a Fall is going to take it for me, which is a movie that I think very much deserves it because it's so well written.
Yeah.
But so are pretty much all of these.
Yeah. My personal pick is Past Lives, of course. That movie is the biggest snub of all time. I think it's the best movie ever made.
Like, you are with a bullet? Best movie ever made? I
with a
love
bullet. No,
I love
that
Past
movie
Lives
has been
too.
so fucking snubbed this year. It's not even funny.
In a very sad way that I think Past Lives and Iron Claw are probably the two biggest, like, dude, really? Like,
100%. 100%.
'Cause
I mean,
again,
they're just like they're like smaller, like they just I can't abide by how freaking snubbed.
Because you want to talk about original screenplay?
Yeah.
You just look at the scene in Iron Claw where he's like, "I used to be a brother."
Yeah.
And literally
Oh.
that one line made hundreds of thousands of people cry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Where's Little Jack?
where's Lil Jack? Dude, seriously, Breck sent me a TikTok of that starting with like a what are they called? Like a edit of Iron Claw, but like a sad one. It started with him sitting there. He's like, "I used to be a brother," and I went, "Nope, not watching this.
No,
I will
thank
start
you.
crying."
Yeah.
I love Iron Claw so much.
Yeah.
Okay, adapted screenplay. This is a tough one.
This is a very tough one.
Like a really tough one.
I had this one split. I am unsplitting.
I did not realize Zone of Interest. I didn't realize Zone of Interest was an adaptation.
I didn't know either.
It's probably based on the book of those people or whatever. But anyway.
Also, the fact that Barbie is nominated for adapted is absolutely insane.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Is it insane? Like, because I really don't know how I feel about it.
It's okay. It's like it's not like there's a Barbie story,
But there have been Barbie movies.
but it's not taking anything from any of those story wise. Like the screenplay isn't borrowing. Like it is.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it isn't.
Well, let me ask this then, just because it's the first example. Like, what about Logan, which nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay? It's like, yes, it's based on comic books, but it's its own original story. It's just taking the character, which is what I think they're doing, is they're taking the Barbie character, which has existed before.
Barbie isn't a character. She doesn't have a backstory that they can pull from. She doesn't have friends or family that we know about. She is an icon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she is yeah, I think that is a really good way of describing it. An icon. She isn't a character, and this movie makes her one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that is like the point.
Yeah. Okay. Look, my one reason for bringing this up is like, is it so bad to be nominated for adapted screenplay that that's my bigger thing. Is like that people are like so mad about it. And I'm like, it's still nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah.
And adapted screenplay is no less important than screenplay.
This is very true. It's just I think like you're not wrong about it being no less important. I think there is something
dismissive, maybe
not dismissive, but there is something about like as if to say like, you know, like as if less work may have had to been done in order to have, you know what I mean? Because like, look, Oppenheimer, the script for Oppenheimer is no less amazing because it's based off of a book about, J. Robert Oppenheimer. So it's a weird thing. I just don't think it is adapted. It's like it is adapted in the way that there was a thing that had that name before this.
Look, I can understand that completely.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. And I don't disagree. Like I said, I kind of don't know how I feel. I just the narrative on that one have been like it's still nominated for a screenplay award that is no less important than the other screenplay award. But for Barbie, it does with some of the other narrative stuff that's been going on with Barbie. It does feel a bit more like why?
Yeah,
in a way that I have not really able to articulate because it's like
it was like The Lion King being nominated for visual effects. It's like I'm not saying it doesn't deserve a nomination for anything. It's just why is it in this category?
Because it's
like it's not that.
It's like it has one live action shot. The rest of it is 100% CGI.
Right.
If you are shooting in camera these landscapes and then putting these animals in, then sure, yes.
Yeah.
But that's not what you were doing.
Right. And so, and I feel similarly about Barbie being nominated for.
It kind of like this year, Across the Spider-Verse shortlisted for visual effects.
Right.
And I was like, because there was one live action dude in it. Like,
right. Because they composited one shot?
Yeah, like, it's like, no, I don't think that's how that works.
I truly do not understand. I mean, like, yeah, not to get too deep into the visual effects conversation, but I truly do not understand how that works at that point.
Yeah, and we'll never know because they'll never exactly explain themselves.
But yeah, so for adapted screenplay, I think it's strange that Barbie's there. That being said, I'm still glad it got a nomination as it is well deserved.
Because like the weirder one for me for Barbie is the fact that it didn't even shortlist for hair and makeup.
Yeah, insane.
That is the one where I was like, okay, guys, let's be really honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
There's a good chance that should have won.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's what? Because there isn't an old lady in it? Like there is an old lady
there
makeup?
isn't a young person playing an old person in it? Like, what do you mean?
Is that literally the only... There isn't somebody with an ear growing out of their neck? Like, you know what I mean?
Like, I don't know. That was the one when that shortlist came out. That was the number one where I was like, what the hell? Like, anyway.
Whatever, you know?
Sorry. So Oppenheimer, I think, is my pick for...
Yeah. I had it split before, but I'm unsplitting it. American Fiction was my number 2. It has some juice.
No, I know it does. Can I be... I saw American Fiction.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about this when we get to Best Picture more.
Yeah.
I think that movie deserves a nomination here.
Yeah.
I don't really know if it deserves Best Picture.
Dude, I've heard that movie is interestingly divisive in that way of like, there are a lot of people that are like, it's good.
Yeah,
like,
I'll talk about my feelings on it more because I do think it's a good movie and I think it's absolutely worth watching. And like, it's a movie I wouldn't mind like revisiting soon. You know what I mean? I enjoyed it and I want to dive into it more. And I think it's dealing with really cool things.
Yeah.
I think there's a few issues with it, and I don't know if they come from the screenplay or the editing or the whatever. So anyway, Oppenheimer for me is what I think is going to win adapted screen. I really think this is kind of Nolan's year to kind of run through some shit.
I completely agree.
Yeah. Okay, animated feature. Or are you looking something up real quick?
I am looking it up real quick on my my cheat sheet. Man, it's like it is just so close.
Yeah.
And I'm going to split it. It's what I want to choose to be number 1 and number 2 is my
animated feature?
For animated feature.
Okay.
It is incredibly close.
That surprises me.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like I've only been hearing about one of these movies winning stuff.
Yeah.
Send it. What are you doing?
Spider-Man number 1, Boy in the Hair number 2.
You think Spider-Man's the favorite?
It is on every Vegas list. It is the number 1. But it is so close behind. The Boy in the Hair is so close behind. And like I've seen multiple large publications, their predictions. Spider-Man's number 1 and Boy in the Hair.
That is fascinating because I really feel like I have not heard Spider-Verse win pretty much anything.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been the Boy in the Hair and sprinting through and beating the shit out of everybody.
It's super close.
All right, man. my personal pick, and I said this in the Whatties, is Across the Spider-Verse. I think that movie finds a way to be as equally original as the first one, while commenting more and being more proud of the fact that it's a superhero movie, and also diving so much deeper into art style and in a way that ended up not being that healthy for the people who made it, and that is bad.
Boo.
But I will go against my gut here and split, but I'm flipping it on you. I'm putting 2 points on Boy and the Heron, 1 point on Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because I think you liked Boy and the Heron more and I like Spider-Verse more.
The Boy and the Heron's my personal pick. I think that's like...
Which, by the way, the Boy and the Heron has gotten a weird amount of people being like, it's fine. The movie is not fine. That movie is awesome. Like,
people are stupid. Don't listen to people.
Look, it's not the, like... I don't think it's his tightest narrative of all time, but I think it's his most reflective narrative of all time. And life is pretty complicated and messy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's got some threads that are like more loose and less about like a conclusion and more about just like the experience of going through it.
Yeah.
I think The Boy and the Heron is brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why people are sleeping on that movie.
Yeah. I think it's one of his best. Like, and in a career of best animated movies ever made.
In a career where you can dedicate an entire floor, and I mean that literally, an entire floor of a museum dedicated to movies just to him.
Yeah.
It is one of his best
not
movies.
Even the studio.
Not the studio.
Him specifically. Insane.
I wish that was still there so bad. The Academy Museum had that exhibit for like over
phenomenal.
a year.
It was the
I'm
coolest
so
shit
glad
ever.
I went. It was amazing.
I am very glad I also went in time to catch up.
Interesting. Can I be honest about this one?
Yeah.
Elemental being on here and TMNT not is one of the biggest snubs in a long time.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Because I watched Elemental the day after the nominations come out, and I got to be honest with you, one of the most perfectly fine movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It looks pretty good, but it's a standard Pixar narrative wherein they didn't try that hard on this one, which is a bummer to me because I love Pixar, but it's just kind of like fine. Like I never got emotional. I never, you know what I mean? But TMNT is like brilliant. I think TMNT rules.
Yeah, that one is so snubbed because Seth Rogen is the producer, and it's a movie about it's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
It doesn't have quite the acclaim that like a Spider-Man could have because there's been, you know what I mean? Like,
which is like bullshit. Ridiculous. It's so stupid because that movie is legitimately very, very good.
Yeah.
The movie is so slept on, so snubbed all year long. It's ridiculous.
And it didn't, and like Elemental came out and was a flop and then out of nowhere became a successful movie, which I still don't understand how it made that turn, but
international or something?
I don't know. It was weird. The box office like 2 weeks in all of a sudden bounced back and became good. It's strange. But I think TMNT like stands in a year where like The Boy and the Heron and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse weren't there. I think it would be the one to win. You know what I mean? Like it's good enough and worthy of that.
100%.
Like if you nominated that over Elemental and it won over Boy and the Heron and Spider-Verse, I wouldn't be pissed. I would just be like, oh, good for them. You know what I mean? Like I want the others to win more.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be mad about it. And so that's one of the biggest snubs this year is that being excluded is honestly really baffling and wrong.
It looks phenomenal too.
Dude,
like
in the same way that Spider-Verse like pioneered a certain type of doing it, this one takes that idea and adapts it so perfectly to the source material.
I mean, like it is ugly in the best way.
Yeah,
like
except the turtles, who all look really fun and cool. You know what I mean? Yeah, everyone else is like gross,
which I love. I do. It looks like. I mean, I think when I did this for the Whatties, or maybe when we talked about TMNT, I can't remember. But it looks like a kid's drawing of this story
with so much like movement and energy and great camera work and like man, TMNT ruled. I'm very bummed
so
about
much
that.
better than people gave it credit.
It's like a genuine travesty.
Yeah.
All right, next up, director.
I mean, Christopher Nolan.
It's Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan.
Is there anyone you would have liked to see nominate on here?
Celine Song.
Celine Song is the big one for me.
Again, like so much of the Oscars is most not best. That is not me saying anything about any of the people listed. Because again, there is a wonderful, subtle directing. I would assume, because I haven't seen Anatomy of Fall or Zone of Interest.
A wonderfully directed movie.
Yeah.
The choices made in what to show and what not to show and when to show it are brilliant.
There's not anything that I would kick off of this list in order to put Celine Song on there. I just think that Celine Song is more than deserving of a nomination.
I think Celine Song, and I do think, like, look, Greta Gerwig is very deserving of it too. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
like for me, of those two, if I had to like say which of the Celine Song for me, that is one of the best directorial debuts I've ever seen. You know what I mean?
I can't think of a better one.
And I don't think Barbie is Greta Gerwig's best movie. You know,
I don't think so either.
Or her best directed movie, but it is absolutely deserving of a nomination.
It's such a huge, sprawling.
Yes,
like in terms of like.
And it proves she can do that, which is what she wants to do. She's made it very clear since she was making Lady Bird. She's been like, I want to make big movies.
Yeah.
And I was like, fucking let her, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Like Greta. Oh man. So Greta not being nominated for that is what one of the biggest.
We can have more than one female director directing big movies outside of Catherine Bigelow.
Yeah.
You know.
Breck made a joke during the Golden Globes. She was essentially like, "Oh, they nominated because Celine Song and Greta, or no, not Celine Song. Two women nominated. I can't remember which two. If it was Justine or whatever. Two women nominated for the Golden Globe, and Breck went, they gave it to her because they know they're gonna. They gave two women nominations because they know Nolan's gonna win.
Right.
They're like, it's fine.
Anatomy of a Fall. The Justine Trey.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I couldn't remember if it was her or something. But anyway. Unfortunate for the rest of these directors that Christopher Nolan maybe made his masterpiece. Like, then that's in a career with The Dark Knight and Inception and Tenet, which I do think is a fucking amazing movie. And Tenet's getting its flowers right now, and I'm really happy about it.
I love it,
dude. Tenet rules. I don't even care. I sit back and vibe. You know what I mean? Dude's name is Protagonist. Who cares?
Shout out to Patrick A. Willems for the Vibes.
Yeah, dude.
Vibes
and
essay.
It's on its like IMAX tour right now.
Yeah,
and it's what a needle drop for Oppenheimer to take his last movie, not the movie currently nominated, back on an IMAX tour.
Right.
Fucking great for a different studio. You know what I mean? Like, and it's still acting as Oppenheimer press tours.
Yeah.
Wild. Anyway, so I think Nolan's got this in the bag.
Yeah.
It's kind of, and I think everyone would agree that he probably deserves it.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, he's gonna win. No, it's like, yeah, he's gonna win, and yeah.
Again, it's like it is not only the perfection of the direction, but also like it's a huge movie.
Yeah.
It's a huge movie, and to put all those pieces together so beautifully and so perfectly is what makes that such a triumph. You know,
I agree. I could not agree more. It's probably his best movie.
Yeah, I don't know how anyone could make the argument to the contrary.
Yeah.
It is all of his best ideas, all of his best features, all displayed in one.
It's like
thing.
maybe not my favorite of his movies, but it is his best movie.
Look, if The Dark Knight is your favorite or Inception is your favorite, you're not wrong.
Yeah, it's just Oppenheimer really might be the one that he kind of went God mode on.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
All right. Supporting actress. I'm really curious what you're gonna do here because I feel like it was pretty easy for me.
Oh, it's the easiest. This might be the easiest category of the entire show.
Divine Joy Randolph. Like I not only deserving, which by the way, I haven't seen The Color Purple.
Yeah.
And I maybe wouldn't have nominated America.
Have you seen Jodie Foster's Nyad?
No, I haven't seen that. Although I feel like she's the one that no one has. I haven't heard anyone talk about her winning. Really.
Yeah.
Nothing on Jodie Foster. I'm sure she's great in that movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, Divine Joy Randolph is unreal in that movie, and
she's swept, like just absolutely swept up until this point.
I'm so happy that it's like one of those performances where you're just like, yep, just give her the Oscar.
Just it's perfect, like literally.
And the funny
perfect.
thing is, during the movie, watching the movie is so good you don't think that. You're not like, oh, she's winning an Oscar.
Oh yeah.
You're just like, oh. These are people, like, and that's the biggest praise I can give it is like they all disappear. Paul Giamatti, one of the most recognizable people in Hollywood, is like, still him. I'm like, Anyway, that's an easy one. That's there.
I mean, she's just like it is the perfect Oscar choice because it's not overacting. She's not most acting.
No. But it's not
at the same time, it's not a small performance. Like it is so.
She has her moments to go big. It's
perfect.
Supporting actor. Is there going to be some deliberation? On it?
Whoops! I accidentally clicked the wrong one. Is there any deliberation needed?
For me, no. It's Robert Downey Jr.
It's Robert Downey Jr. I accidentally clicked Robert De Niro because Robert. But
no, that stands. It was on the
board. Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer. It's like the easiest choice.
And look, another round of like great performances.
Yeah.
Like I maybe would have said this was the strongest single category this year.
Fascinating.
Maybe I don't fully know. Like.
Fascinatingly, I think it might be editing for me. The editing.
Oh, I meant of the acting.
Oh, okay.
I meant of the acting. Editing, you really might just be right. Like
it's just crazy how good all of them are.
Anyway, so it's Robert Downey Jr. But
Robert Downey Jr.
Look, I love Sterling K. Brown. If he won, I wouldn't be like pissed. Robert De Niro is Robert De Niro. He's really good in that movie. Yeah. Ryan Gosling would make me very happy just because he's Ryan Gosling. But there's a lot of weirdness surrounding that. In the discussion, and very rightfully so, some weirdness surrounding that.
Speak on that.
Oh, just the conversation has been like one with Barbie. I think a lot of people felt weird about Ken being the most talked about part of Barbie. And look, don't get me wrong, like Ryan Gosling went huge where Margot Robbie went very subtle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
not even very subtle. You know what I mean? She's got her big silly, silly, but she's got her big moments.
Yes. But what I mean by that is just more like Ryan Gosling, all of his stuff is at 100 and there's a lot for her where she gets very...
100%.
You know what I mean? And look, Margot Robbie's absolutely brilliant and probably should have nominated for Best Actress for that. You know what I mean? Like, and don't get me wrong, Best Actress, also a very strong category.
Yeah.
A very strong category.
Yeah.
But I think it's just people feel really weird about Ryan Gosling, and look, I feel weird about it. Why is Ken the most talked about thing in a Barbie movie?
Right.
And I think part of that comes from the fact that this narrative doesn't exist without the duality of the worlds they're talking about, right?
100%.
And it derives from that. And I think going back, you can see the most emotional stuff in that movie is so clearly Barbie.
Oh, yeah.
But the most like goofy, fun, silly time, clippable stuff is all Ken. And it's like a marketing thing. It's like how to make the movie fun. We have Ryan Gosling going, okay, Brewski beer me. You know what I mean? Like it's funny. Like it's I don't know. It's a tough one, but it's a weird one. But I also think Ryan Gosling is putting in an Oscar-worthy performance. Is the other hard part of that, where it's like he's definitely deserving of it.
Right. It's like that's the frustrating part about that conversation. It's like, look, Margot Robbie definitely deserves it, but it's not like Ryan Gosling.
Like he doesn't.
It's not like Ryan Gosling got nominated over her. It's not like they're in the same category and he got it and she didn't.
Yes.
They're in different categories. Am I as conflicted on that conversation of like it's a Barbie movie and yet we're only talking about the male character? Mm-hmm. That's weird. That's weird that we're doing that.
And I don't think that we'd be talking about that if Margot Robbie had nominated. If both had nominated, we wouldn't be talking about
100%.
it. But because they snubbed Margot, it is a very big like question mark. I'm like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, so it is what it is, and it's kind of a bummer. And but I do think Robert Downey Jr. is taking it. I think this is his Oscar win.
Yep.
And then he'll go back and make more Marvel movies. I guess I don't know. Whatever the narrative on that is.
Who knows?
Anyway,
lead actress.
But this is, I think, for a lot of people, a lot harder than it was for me.
Yeah.
Based on just the Academy's tendency to give to most big performances and bigger acting.
Yeah.
I think it's Emma Stone. I think Emma Stone's winning, and I'm sticking with that. Like, look, don't get me wrong, I would love if Lily Gladstone won. I would love that. And the SAG puts a big upset on that.
Yeah.
SAG puts a big upset on that.
Yeah.
Because Lily Gladstone beat Emma Stone.
Yeah.
But Emma Stone just feels like the more like big and varied and crazy, and you know what I mean? Like it's and Emma Stone's won a bunch of stuff. It's not like you know what I mean? Like the SAG was an upset.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think Emma Stone for me is what I'm sticking with.
I have it split.
You have a split.
Number one, Lily. Number 2, Emma.
Here's the thing. I'd be perfectly fine with that. There's another one of those categories where it's like, yep, that would work. I'd be super happy for them.
Yeah. I think it is definitely a race between those two. I think it's a very strong category, but I think it is a race between those two. Like, I don't think anybody's even close. It is a very close race.
It would be the upset of the year if anyone but them won.
100%. Yeah. If Carey Mulligan pulled out a win out of nowhere. Look, don't get me wrong. I've heard she's phenomenal in that movie. I heard she's the best part of that movie.
But
if it would be crazy if Carey Mulligan pulled out a win here. But yeah, I think the SAG, her winning SAG is a big deal. And then the other part of it is the Oscars have such a bad history with Native American people.
Yes.
Like when Al
Pacino.
No, not Al Pacino. The other one, not Al Pacino. The Godfather, not Al Pacino.
Oh shoot, you're right. Yes.
Streetcar Named Desire. What is his freaking name? Why can we not remember one of the most famous actors of all time?
Marlon Brando.
God, when he won, and
both of our collective brains on that. That was embarrassing.
Shit out. Yeah. And oh God, what was her name? Peace.
I can't remember.
I don't remember. It doesn't matter. It does matter. It matters a lot. Actually, screw that. I'm gonna look that up.
While he's doing that, for the audience, I pulled out On the Waterfront, a movie I love and a movie everyone should watch. It's brilliant. I love this movie.
Little Feather. Yeah, she, as a form of protest against Hollywood's treatment of Native Americans. What year
was that?
Oh shit! I just.
Never mind. Year's not important.
It was for his. It was for The Godfather, I believe.
Yeah, I would like to also point out that I think everyone talking about the most embarrassing years in Oscar history with Will Smith and all that shit. Yeah. John Wayne tried to attack her.
Yeah.
After, and they had to stop him.
Yeah. 1973.
Bullshit.
Yeah. They booed her.
Yeah.
Like. Insane, absolutely insane. So I think part of that that history is a little wrapped up in this, and in the way the Oscars are so gross and bad about doing a makeup Oscar kind of feels like a thing for this category. So in a way that I'm not happy with. That being said, Lily Gladstone is so deserving, it's not even funny. As is Emma Stone. I think she puts in a phenomenal performance. Like, that movie would not have been anything like it was without a performance like that from her. But I'm picking number 1, Lily Gladstone, and number 2, Emma Stone.
I'd be happy with either of them.
Yeah.
Totally understand it. Lead actor, is this one split for you?
This one is split for me.
Whoa. Okay. Go then.
Number 1, Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
Number 2, Paul Giamatti.
Cillian.
Killian, sorry.
How fucking...
I know.
I said Cillian once and you called me out. Or I said Killian, you said Cillian, and then I heard Christopher Nolan say it on stage. So now we know.
I'm an idiot.
We're all idiots. But him most of all.
Yeah, me specifically.
Anyway, so it's split between Killian and who?
Paul.
See, I would love that. I would love if Paul won. Mine is hard stop on Killian. I think again, it's like I think Oppenheimer has the fucking juice to just win as many of the big 5 as it possibly can. Like,
Paul Giamatti's won a lot. He's won a lot.
Yeah.
It is not. It is not as set in stone.
Yeah.
And I think the recency bias might also play a part. Like, that movie came out more recently. Like,
one thought I have is that Oppenheimer really could win the big 5. It could win picture, it could win director, it could win a screenplay, and it could win an actor and supporting.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since a movie's done that.
Yeah.
Was the last one Silence of the Lambs? Because it's only happened a couple of times.
I think the
last one was Silence of the Lambs. I think Killian not only deserved it, because that movie, literally people showed the runtime of every actor in that screen time of every actor in that movie, and holy shit, he has more than triple anyone else in that movie, including Robert Downey Jr., who's in that movie a lot.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that movie is held on his shoulders in a way that I think is just unreal.
Yeah.
And I love his performance. I love Paul Giamatti. Like, I would love it if Paul Giamatti won. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Because I love that movie and I love Paul Giamatti. But
That's my personal pick.
I think Cillian will win. I don't know if I have a personal pick because I just love both of them so much, but it's one of those ones I'd be happy for either of them.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be Cillian, but Paul Giamatti just won so much.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see, man.
And I think he is such a industry darling. You know what I mean? Like everybody freaking loves that dude. You know what I mean? And not to say that people don't love Cillian Murphy. He's just like everybody's favorite guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he's the chill hang, but also put in a phenomenal performance in and this could be that makeup kind of thing that like I don't think I don't think The Holdovers is going to win much else other than possibly him and
possibly screenplay
and obviously Divine Joy Randolph is definitely getting it, but it really would not surprise me if Paul Giamatti pulled out a win here.
All right, hey man, I'm into that. I think that's fun. And I again, if Cillian lost and Paul Giamatti won, 100% fine with that. Yeah, that's cool.
This is by far the year I have split the most.
It is, yeah.
Because there are so many that are so close that have gone back and forth win by win that like Vegas doesn't know what to do with. Like it is a fascinating. There's some that are. I mean, you sent me a text earlier this week where you were like, "I am so confident in several categories, and I have no clue in several others."
I haven't split a single acting. I'm all in on everybody I picked acting wise. Normally I split at least two. Yeah,
supporting all in, acting or leads. I'm split for both,
and I get that. But now we're on to Best Picture.
I mean. Do we know?
Yeah, dude, we know. Past lives.
Friggin' American Fiction. For
American Fiction. Barbie's taking it home.
Yeah. It's Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer will win Best Picture.
Yep.
That being said, I would be perfectly fine if The Holdovers did. I would be perfectly fine if Past Lives did. Poor Things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's going to be Oppenheimer, and well deserved. Like I said, I think Oppenheimer's a masterpiece. I think it's just a brilliant piece of cinema.
Yeah.
And it has the like clout of being like I'm $1 billion movie essentially.
Yeah.
I think Oppenheimer.
It's Oppenheimer. American Fiction. Talk on it.
I think American Fiction is not quite as good as I think there's other movies like Iron Claw should have nominated over American Fiction.
Yeah.
And this is coming from somebody who really enjoyed American Fiction, who had a great time at the movies, who really liked it, who got very emotional at moments. It just feels like that movie has a couple of like structural issues that I don't. It hurts it for me because so many times in that movie I was like, wait, how much time has passed? Like, what is happening? Did he write a whole book in a night? Like,
right.
Like stuff like that where I'm just like, I'm confused as to like. Because, the passage of time plays so much into the emotionality, where characters are, how they change. It's like, has he been spending months like this and then did this in one night? Or has he been sitting there anger writing this thing for 2 weeks? Like, it's just confusing to me. You know what I mean? And this is, again, coming from someone who really liked that movie.
Yeah.
I just, maybe this is me being bitter. Iron Claw didn't nominate.
Yeah. Iron Claw should have been there. Honestly, like The Boy and the Heron, I think
The Boy and the Heron
very well could have, should have, would have been in that category.
It is what it is, but and there's the thing, I think there are years where American Fiction absolutely should have been nominated.
Yeah.
But it just feels like there are other better movies, more deserving movies this year who deserve that better.
I mean,
picture.
like I think the two that I think could have been possibly not on this list. I've not seen either of them, but just based off of the conversation on both American Fiction and Maestro, it's like Maestro feels
like it's just the prestige. It literally, and everyone said it since the first trailer of that movie came out. It's like Bradley Cooper wants an Oscar so fucking bad.
Yeah,
like it's like it feels like the most Oscar bait movie that's ever been made.
Yeah,
in a way that's like not good.
Yeah, it's like look, Leonard Bernstein, I'm sure has a fascinating story, and like I've heard there's so much to like about that movie, but at the same time, it's like. Is that the one? Is that the one we're going with, guys?
Yeah, and so now the big question mark: what is your upset?
Oh,
what is your potential surprise that, by the way, you get 3 points for if we didn't say it. You get 3 points if that wins. So essentially, you get one category with 2 3-point picks.
I feel weird about this, having had the conversation that we had on it, but
this is purely for the game, dude. It's just purely for the game.
Just because I think it's weird, it would be wild if it won. But Ryan Gosling for supporting, I think that would be wild, and everybody loves that performance so much, and like the song and all. It'd just be crazy if it won.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to.
Yeah,
they just picked it for fun.
Cool. I think that's an upset. Yeah. I think earlier this year I wouldn't have called it an upset. I think initially out the gate on Barbenheimer, I was like, Ryan Gosling's going to win the Oscar. Yeah. And then you start really reflecting on what Robert Downey Jr. is doing. You're like, well.
Yeah.
That's
I think
fun.
there are a couple that would happen before Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. For me, and this one could maybe not be. I really don't know. Mm-hmm. But I think Zone of Interest stands a chance of winning Best Picture.
Fascinating.
And it's like, it's not in the top 3 contention for it, you know what I mean? But I think that is one of those movies that I've heard so many industry people talk about that it really might be one of those ones that just like sneaks up and takes it. That's my wild card.
Solid.
I really, really, really think it's going to be Oppenheimer, but if something were to like dethrone that, I think it like really could just be Zone of Interest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like one of those like sneaky based on their weird voting rules.
Actually, let me look at what the odds are on that one.
Because I think when I looked it up, it was much lower. It was not in the top, but we may be using a different like website or whatever. Mine was pretty streamlined.
Where is it? Where are we? Yeah, no, it's definitely
like
up
middle
there.
Middle of the pack though.
Yeah, it's as far as betting odds go, it's Oppenheimer with a bullet, then Holdovers, Poor Things, then Zone of Interest, which I think, which again, like with the way that the like kind of ranked choice voting goes with the Oscars, like it could be some people's like number 2 or number 3, where everybody's number 1 is completely different.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's and Zone of Interest would be a movie that I very much think deserves it. You know what I mean? Like, look, there
are several movies here where it's like, why that would not be a bad thing if Killers of the Flower Moon or Poor Things or The Holdovers or
Past Lives,
Anatomy of the Fall. Yeah. Like there are so many.
Basically any of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even if American Fiction like won, I wouldn't be like pissed off about it.
Really?
I don't want it to win. Yeah. It's the one on there where I'm like, but I wouldn't be like angry by it. It wouldn't be like Birdman winning.
Right. It wouldn't be Crash.
It wouldn't be Crash winning. It wouldn't be that. Now, that being said, in a couple of years, I'd probably feel that way where I was like, how the fuck did Oppenheimer lose to American Fiction?
Yeah, no, I think it, I don't, again, like, I don't think it is Crash level bad, but
it's not Shakespeare in Love beating Saving Private Ryan.
It's not Green Book winning over literally every other movie in that category.
You know what? Fuck it. Maybe it is.
Like American Fiction would be wild if that movie won.
Which is annoying.
I would be mad. There's several other movies that are way better.
It's annoying for me to say because I do really enjoy that movie.
Yeah,
but it's not like Green Book where it's like, this is kind of a bad movie.
Green Book is like problematic and bad.
Whereas American Fiction is just not quite as good as the rest of these. Anyway, that's our Oscar pixies.
There is no crazier line in cinema history than Viggo Mortensen eating fried chicken, saying "I'm blacker than you are" is the craziest line in any movie that has won best. Well, there's a bunch of crazy shit in Crash,
but still,
but that movie, that is like Crash. That movie is Crash level bad of winning Best Picture. Where it's like, man, y'all are that tone deaf where you thought this was a good conversation about race relations.
Look, like here's not to downplay like Mahershala winning and all. You know what I mean? Like
Mahershala was phenomenal. Viggo Mortensen was great in that performance. Like I don't want to. It's the script.
It's the fucking script, and yes, it's. That one was rough.
Yeah, that movie felt very much like the Oscars being like, oh, I mean, we got after all the Oscars so white controversy and all that kind of stuff. It's like, but this movie's,
and yet it's still about a white man,
and it's still about a white
man's
dude
journey. You know,
written by the son of the white man. That movie's Black Klansman was infinitely better,
dude.
Infinitely more
important, necessary.
So should have won I don't think that was the one I would have chosen either.
No, we were also talking about one of the best recent years. I mean, that year in particular was like incredible.
Yeah,
and then Green Book won, and everyone was like, "What the fuck?"
Again,
just
the most
happened?
Boring bad pick.
How did Spike lose to Driving Miss Daisy twice?
Shit, dude! Holy God, literally.
It's annoying.
That's very annoying.
Anyway, so that's our Oscar picks.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a fun year.
It's going to be a great year.
Everybody play along.
Yeah.
We'll make the list available.
It'll be in the show notes. It'll be on TikTok in some capacity.
I'll
find a way to.
I'll post the rules thing on there, and we'll make sure we get everybody playing, because this is a great game, and we'll
Hell yeah.
we'll live broadcast our Oscar reaction. No, not really.
It could be fun. We could maybe figure out something like that. But
Yeah. We'll
no promises.
We'll make a bunch of TikTok stories or some shit during it. We'll do something fun.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about this. I do love the Oscars as much as they make me angry.
Yes.
I love them. So enjoy that. Have a good time. Do we want to do any recommendations for this, or is it just go catch up on your Oscar stuff?
I think that
in the
I have
days
a game
leading
if we were down for a game.
I'm super down for a game.
But I think recommendations
go whatever Best Picture nominee you haven't seen. Make sure you watch it. Like,
That isn't Maestro.
I will be
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Maestro's the last one I have to watch, so I guess I'll go watch Maestro.
Yeah. There's a couple I've missed.
But yeah, so go catch up on your Oscars. I'm gonna try to watch a couple that one, and then maybe one or two others of like the weird ones I've missed. But yeah,
Bars.
the Oscars. Game time.
Game time. We're doing Oscar trivia. I'm just gonna ask you a question. Let's see if you can get the question right.
All right.
Leonardo DiCaprio won the Academy Award for Best Actor for his role in which film?
The Revenant.
Yeah, baby. Come on, hit the thing.
A couple years ago, I would have aced every single one of these, I promise you, because I was weirdly obsessive about it. But now I feel like I've forgotten much of my Oscar trivia.
Some of these are going to be tough. Who is the first woman to have won the Oscar for Best Director?
Oh, because it's not Catherine. She was the second. I don't know the answer to that one.
It is Catherine Bigelow.
Oh, damn it. Who was the second woman?
I have no clue. I just know that Catherine Bigelow is the answer. What are the Big Five awards? This is easy.
Oh, yeah, I said it earlier. It's director, one of the two screenplays, picture, and then an actor and a supporting in either actress, actor, either way.
Yeah. So we've got Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Screenplay. Yep.
Oh, is it Best Actress? It's not Best Supporting?
Nope. Best Actress. I'll give it to you. Close enough.
No, you're right. I know that's right, but I also don't love that. I think if you win actor, actress,
and a supporting, like
and
a
supporting,
lead and a supporting,
I think that counts.
Yeah,
because like supporting is just as important. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just you're in the movie less. You know what I mean?
I don't think the Big Five is like. I don't think the conversation for the Big Five is like. You have to win the Big Five because I think you won. I don't know how to talk about this
because look, why was in Silence of the Lambs? Why the fuck was Anthony Hopkins? Wasn't he Best Supporting? I thought he was. My phone is being used to record this episode. That's
a great question.
But anyway, to me, the Big Five are an actor, supporting or actor, and an actress, supporting or actress.
Right.
That qualifies you for the Big Five, in my opinion.
Right. I don't disagree with that. So I'm going to give you the answer.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Because it's because it's the same thing if you win original or adapted screenplay. You get two shots. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
no, I agree. It's weird.
Fuck you, Academy.
Fuck you, Academy. I'm kidding. Come on the pod. In what year was the first Academy Award ceremony?
1930.
Oh, you're so close. I will give you another guess. You were within a year.
1929.
Yes, I will give you that one.
I know the best picture winner.
What was it?
Wings.
Yep. Who holds the record for the most Oscars won?
Walt Disney.
I will give you a bonus point if you can guess how many.
54.
No, cut that in half.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he had just won a bunch for producing.
I think that's nominations you might be thinking of.
Yeah.
In terms of wins, it is 26.
Okay.
But you got the first one right. Can you give me the freaking number I'm trying to type, please and thank you?
Do it.
In 2017, the movie Suicide Squad won an Oscar. True or false?
It did.
What did it win for?
Hair and makeup.
Yep. I will give you a bonus point for that one.
Look, admittedly, some good the Killer Croc stuff.
Oh no, the Killer Croc's makeup is phenomenal. Like absolutely phenomenal.
Not to take that away. Now that being said, I think it beat Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah,
which was like kind of wild because Star Trek Beyond had so many different things, but whatever.
But the dude had tattoos all over his body. So no, but Killer Croc is phenomenal.
Unironically, El Diablo is one of the best parts of that movie.
Yeah,
he's like one of the only parts that works.
Yeah.
Anyway.
How many Academy Awards for Best Actor has Daniel Day-Lewis won?
3.
Yes. Yes. In what year did Forrest Gump win Best Picture?
What year did came out in 94, so it won the 95 Oscars?
That
right?
is correct.
Yeah. That was what I was tripping up. I was like, wait, how do you answer that?
I'm skipping this one because I think this question's dumb. You know the answer. I'm not even going to ask it.
Okay.
How many Oscars was Titanic nominated for out of a possible 17?
Shit. 11?
No.
What was it?
I'll give you one more guess. It's more than 11.
13.
14.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
I know, right?
Ugh. I don't like Titanic.
Johnny Depp has never won an Oscar. True or false?
True, right? He's never won?
He's never won.
Yeah.
True. How many Oscars did The Lord of the Rings Return of the King win?
Oh, this was, it swept. It was 12 for 12? 13
Nope.
for 13.
Nope.
11 for
11. Oh, so
But
close.
I got right that
you
it
were so
swept.
close.
It literally it
Yeah.
won every single category it was
Yeah.
nominated for. One of the craziest stats ever to me. And not nominated for any acting awards.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah,
I was thinking about that earlier
that's
too.
The other
It's
thing
like,
is like it's I think it's the movie that's won the most Oscars ever that was not nominated for an acting also.
which is crazy.
Oh, dude, there's like 3 people in Return of the King you could have nominated.
Yeah.
Like Ian McKellen, Viggo
Vigo.
Mortensen. It's
Yeah.
fuck it. Elijah Wood.
Yeah. Honestly, friggin'
Sean Astin.
Sean Astin.
Dude,
That was also what I was thinking.
Fuck it. Love those movies.
Which best picture winning movie features an underdog boxer getting shot at the heavyweight championship?
Well, there's so many. Rocky.
That's fucking Rocky. That's a dumb one. I pulled this off the internet. I don't know if you can tell. What movie did Jack Nicholson win his first Oscar for?
Oh, first shit. First. As Good as It Gets?
No.
What was it? I genuinely have no idea.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's.
Fucking One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I
Yeah.
forgot he won. Dude, I love One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
It's a very
Nest.
good
I
one.
love that
It's a
movie.
very good one. I need to watch it again. It like rolled off me weird.
Dude,
I need to watch it again.
I watched it the first time, loved it, and then we watched it for a class. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's crazy to think of all the people in that movie that were like not famous at the time that then became super famous.
Yeah.
I love One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
It's a good one. Who was the first African American woman to win Academy Award for Best Actress? Not supporting, Best Actress.
I feel horrible. I don't know her name, but it was for Gone with the Wind.
No.
Oh, Best Actress.
Best Actress, not supporting, Best Actress.
Was it? I really hope it was.
Because it's Hattie McDaniel or
Yeah,
whatever.
thank you. Hattie McDaniel.
For
It wasn't.
supporting.
Was it Halle Berry?
It was Halle Berry.
The sad part about that is how pretty recent that was.
Yeah. Well, yeah, what, like 2000 or 98 or, it was
Way too recent is the answer.
In what year was the first Oscar for Best Animated Feature awarded?
It was the year Toy Story came out, right?
Nope.
Oh, animated feature. I don't know the year. It was Snow White. Not
Animated feature. So that is not, you're on the wrong path.
Snow White would be on the wrong path.
Yeah, you're so far. It's not even funny.
What is the answer then?
2002.
Is it Shrek?
No, it was, I'm pretty sure it was Beauty and the Beast. No.
2002?
Yeah, no, I'm wrong about that. No, but it is 2002 is the first year for animated feature. Beauty and the Beast was nominated for Best Picture, I believe, that year.
Okay.
I was
then
wrong.
what's the answer?
I don't know what who won, but I didn't know the first year was 2002.
How was it 2002?
Yeah, who knows?
There was so many animated movies before that.
I agree.
That's fucking wild.
In what movie did Danny Boyle win Best Director in 2008? So what movie did Danny Boyle win for Best Director in 2008?
I genuinely don't know the answer to this.
Slumdog Millionaire.
Danny Boyle directed Slumdog Millionaire?
Yeah.
I straight didn't know that.
That dude has a wild...
He has the weirdest filmography.
Yeah, it's like he's got he's one of those dudes who always makes like good movies, but he never directs the same movie twice.
Yeah.
Like even remotely. Unless we're talking about Trainspotting.
Yeah. Well, there it is.
There we go. In inches, how tall is the Oscar statue? If you're within an inch, I'll give it to you. Because it is a certain amount and a half inch.
9?
No, it is taller than that. I'll give you another guess.
Taller
it's
than
taller
that?
than
Okay,
that. It's taller than you think it is.
11 and a half.
13 and a half.
Really?
It's tall. I think we're including the
statue, right?
We're including the
podium
base,
thing, or whatever you call it. Okay, I've seen Academy Awards. I can't believe I can't. Fuck, that seems bigger than they should be.
Right?
That's cool. I mean,
Natalie,
funny thing about that, I did in college. I had a class called Cineskype where we would screen a movie and then talk to someone from that movie and do a Q&A.
Cool. I like that name too.
Cineskype's great name. Anyone could go to them, but there was like a class you could take and you just had to. They were awesome. I loved them. Mm-hmm. And one of the people was for 1917, and he showed a reel package that he had to stop the recording for because he's like, I don't know if I can show you this stuff.
Amazing.
And his Oscar was sitting behind him on the shelf.
I love it.
And he was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Fuck you."
Oh, that's Oscar
that's
back
fine.
there.
Anyway, that's one of the wildest moments I've been there to experience.
Natalie Portman won Best Actress for her role in which film?
Fuck. How do I not know this? Because I don't know it. What was it?
Black Swan.
See, and I don't know why my brain immediately went fucking V for Vendetta, but it's like no way in hell, right?
I think mine would jump to Jackie Kennedy.
Jackie Kennedy or Leon the Professional.
Yeah. See,
she's so young in that. No kids ever win. I mean,
that's not true.
It's rare. Yeah. That's what I'm saying is it's like one or two have ever done it.
How many Oscars has Morgan Freeman won?
0, right?
Nope. He's won one.
So he's won one?
Yeah, I'll give you a point if you can tell me which movie.
My heart wants to be like Shawshank. It's not Shawshank.
It's not Shawshank.
What is it? I don't know.
$1 Million Baby.
Okay.
Really? Honestly, I don't think that's...
No, it's not that much. But I just think of Morgan Freeman's performances. It's not one that immediately jumps to mind.
Yeah.
He's great in that movie, and nothing on that movie.
All right, your final score is 11 out of 20.
Oh, well, so not great.
Hey, but you did... Honestly, you got a good bonus in there.
And you took an easy one from me.
Well, I gave you an easy one. I gave you the point.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I gave you the point for the easy one.
Because I already knew it?
Yeah, you knew it.
That's funny.
I didn't like the question, so I wasn't going to say it.
All right, that's fine.
The question skeeved me out.
Yeah, again, a couple years ago, I probably would have gotten at least 3 or 4 more because I just was like obsessive knowledge about this.
You were buckled in on those.
There used to be a documentary. It's not really available now. I'd have to it's available. I could rent it probably, but I don't want to rent it. I would watch it every year before the Oscars, and it was just like a celebration. It was the Academy Award stroking their own Oscar. You know what I mean? Anyway,
stroking their 13.5-inch Oscar.
Yeah. Exactly. Solid gold, plated gold, whatever the fuck it is.
I'm sure it's plated. There's no world where it's solid.
No.
Giving out friggin' $15,000 worth of gold to every single winner.
You know, a funny thing about the Academy is if you want to sell your Oscar, if you get one and sell it, you have to offer it first to the Academy to buy it back from you for $1 before you can sell it anywhere else. It's like part of it.
Is that something that that you sign up to be a part of the Academy?
I think it's part of the Academy. Yeah, like when you become an Academy member eligible for these things, it's part of the.
Did you lose? Because my question is,
dude, honestly, it might be fucking guild and union rules.
That's what I was thinking.
One of the things they negotiate.
Because that would be my question. Is how could they stop you? You know, but if you get kicked out of your union, or you get kicked out of the Academy or whatever.
That might have changed, but I know for a long time that was the rule because occasionally people would want to donate them or some shit.
Yeah.
And they would be like, no, you can't, because they want to control where they're at. You know what I mean? Which I can understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just
weird.
Yeah.
What a weird little.
And again, that might have changed now, but for a long time, I know that was the rule.
Yeah.
I can't remember the example they used because somebody tried to sell it and the Academy was like, fuck no.
Yeah.
Can't do that. It's illegal.
I would love to know more about that.
I'll do some research on it. Anyway, so this is the Oscars episode. Tell us how wrong we are. Get in the comments. I'd love to know if you agree or disagree with any of our picks. We'd love to see your picks. Straight up, jump on the thing and play the game. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Don't sit this one out.
No. Yeah, watch the Oscars, man. Hear the music. Watch there's a lot of cool stuff that they do every year.
As much as we know exactly what Jimmy Kimmel's going to do, I do like Jimmy Kimmel.
No, I think he's one of the better ones.
He's going to make every obvious joke about how movies are too long. So I wish we went back to no host, and we get like Amy Poehler and Tina Fey up on that stage to do an opening monologue.
Yeah.
And then just random, a bit or two here or there from different people.
Yeah.
Instead of one guy hosting it to...
See, I still like the single host, but just give me a Hugh Jackman again. Give me
a Neil Patrick Harris,
Neil
dude. I want Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
I still listen to that song occasionally.
Yeah.
His opening, it's
Yeah.
great. It's so good.
I mean, honestly, like
when
Billy Crystal is like maybe
king of it.
the best one ever.
Yeah.
Like I would love a Billy Crystal comeback.
Yeah. I just in fairness to Kimmel, I get why he keeps coming back. I just wish we would do something different. And
I'm fine with Kimmel. Like I'm fine.
The couple years we didn't have a host, it ran really smoothly. Is why I say that. Like there was like 2 years where they just didn't do a host, and it was awesome. Because I think you just start the Oscars with a big musical number, have somebody come out, tell a couple jokes, then introduce the first one, and then
I don't
just
disagree.
Go.
I think that's I think that's
like just the opening monologue from a guy who would know is going to come back and keep making bit. Like last year's Oscars there was a couple. What was the one? Was it last year's the first one though? What's her name? She's in Trainwreck.
Amy Schumer.
Amy Schumer. Was that year?
I don't.
Because that was a bad year.
Yeah.
For a lot of, she's like, the mood changed that year. It's like, shut the fuck up. Ignore it. Like, let's stop. Anyway,
Amy Schumer's the worst for a lot of reasons.
For a lot of reasons.
Not for the sexist reason that a lot of people dislike her. She's just bad because she's a joke stealer.
That's true. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oscars.
Any recommendations, or is our recommendation?
No, I think just go watch a bunch of movies.
I agree.
Catch up on your Oscars. They are nominated for a reason. They're very important movies. They're not necessarily the only important movies that come out in any given year. Look for the other ones, but they are, in terms of American cinema, at the very least, they are some of the most important movies you can watch.
Yeah.
And do that.
Yeah.
Or don't. I don't know. Live your life.